Okay, very good evening, my dear friends. Today, resource person Dr. P.MANJULA Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, RBVRR Women's College. Madam is going to explain about the important area strategies, stages of ecological succession. It is one of the most important area. So succession is one of the most important for all competitive exams in plant sciences. Madam, please start your session.
Okay, thank you, sir. So today's topic is ecological succession. Sir, am I audible? Sir. Okay. So today's topic is ecological succession. So today we will discuss about the stages of ecological succession. So first one is what is ecological succession? So ecological succession, it is a gradual and sequential replacement of one community by the other in an area over a period of time. So it is called as the ecological succession. So that is the gradual change from one community to one single area which is occupied by different communities. That is and sequential replacement of one community by the other in an area over a period of time. So it is called as the ecological succession. So according to E.P. Odom, the ecological succession is an orderly process of community change in a unit area. So for example, in one area, so first it is occupied by the primitive organism. So it is again at final it is occupied by the evolved organisms. They can survive in that particular environment. So here these organisms, they cannot survive in this area. So here it is a orderly process of a community change in a unit area. It is called as the ecological succession. So it is the process of change in species. Change in species composition in an ecosystem over a time. So in simpler terms, it is a process of ecosystem development in nature. So here, so population means, so it is a group of individuals of a particular species occupying in a unit area. Example, the populations of Aedes aegypti, that is yellow fever musk. So here any population, any type of species we can take. So here the for example, population of the mosquitoes in an area. So community means it is a community. It can be defined as a combination of different populations in an ecosystem. For example, in pond ecosystem, it may consist of populations of Spirogyra, that is algae, diatoms, frogs, fishes, insects, and also phytoplanktons like that. So different types of populations are present. So here the community is a group of populations. So the community in an ecosystem is not stable. So generally, the community in an ecosystem, it is not stable and it passes through many developmental stages in a definite sequence over a period of time. So these developmental stages in most of the cases will form the simple to complex, and it is collectively called as the community dynamics. So the process of ecosystem So the process of ecosystem. So how this ecological succession, the process of ecosystem succession, how it starts with means. So here some the process it involves several steps. So first one is so generally it involves 5 steps. So the ecological succession in a complex, it is a complex process and it may take thousands of years. So it will not take in only in few days or few hours. So it takes many years to complete. So here this is the ecological succession. It is a complex process and it takes many thousands of years. So Frederick Clements in 1916 for the first time proposed the sequential phases of an ecological succession. So the process of succession, it is completed through series of sequential steps. So these are the for the process of this ecological succession, it starts with the nudation. Second step is invasion. Third one is the competition and coaction. And fourth one is the reaction. And Fifth one is the stabilization, that is the climax. So we go one by one. So first step is the nudation. So that is here, that is here the nudation means bare area. So here the area which is not occupied by any living organism. So it is next. It is followed by the invasion. Next one is a competition. Next step is the reaction, and the final step is the formation of stabilized climax community. So it can survive for more years. So first. So here the formation of first step, that is a nudation. So it is a bare area formed by the land side. So here there is no organisms in that area. So here it is a development of a bare area. So it is called as the nudation. So it is the first step in ecological succession, and the causes of nudation are due to topographical factors, are due to climatic factors, are due to biotic factors. So topographic means, so that is soil, due to the soil related causes such as due to soil erosion or sand deposit or landslide and volcanic activities result in the formation of a bare area. So due to climatic factors, also due to the destruction of the community due to glaciers or dry periods. So due to which here the formation of bare area, that is the area with no living organisms. So this area it is called as the bare area. So due to biotic activities also, it includes forest destruction, agriculture and disease epidemics, and which result in the total destruction of the population in an area. So first step is that is nudation, that is the formation of bare area. So it is due to different activities, like due to soil factors, due to soil activities like soil erosion, sand deposit, or landslide, or volcanic activities, also due to climatic factors like glaciers or dry periods, due to which here the organisms will not survive in that place. So due to which here the area becomes bare. So are due to biotic factors also, the area becomes this, it will not allow for the growth of organisms. So second step is the invasion. So here the invasion, it is a successful establishment of a species in the bare area. So it is called as the invasion. That is this bare area which is occupied by the establishment of the species. So here the due to migration. So here it is the second step in the ecological succession, and a new species reaches the newly created bare area, and they try to establish there. So here the bare area is there. There is no organisms in that area. So here the new species reaches this area, and they start germination and grow. So it is called as the invasion. So it is the pioneer species. So the process of invasion, it is completed in 3 steps. So here for this successful establishment of the species in a bare area, it includes 3 steps. First one is the migration. Second step is the ecosis, and third step is the aggregation. So first one is the migration, means that is dispersal, that is seeds. So here the bare area is there. So due to migration, that is moving of dispersal of seeds or spores and propagules of the species reach this bare area due to migration. And the migration can be achieved through air, water, media. So generally due to that is transport of these seeds or spores due to water during the rainy season, they will move from one area to another, and they reach this bare area due to winds, air, due to which here the spores or seeds will reach this bare area and they start germination. So second step is the ecosis. So ecosis is the process of successful establishment of a species in the bare area. So they come and here they start germination. So the seeds or spores that reach the new area due to migration will germinate, grow and reproduce. So only a few progenies will survive. So here also all the seeds which reach this area, they will not survive. Only few will germinate and will survive due to the harsh environmental conditions and prevailing in the area. So next one is the aggregation. So after ecosis, that is after successful establishment, that is after germination of these spores, they increase their number. So it is called as aggregation. So after ecosis, the individuals of a species increase their number and they stay close to each other. So this process, it is called as the aggregation. So in in second step, that is first step is a nudation, that is the formation of bare area. So due to climatic factors or due to soil factors or due to biotic factors, so here the formation of bare area, the area which is without any living organism, so it is called as a bare area. So here the first step is the formation of bare area. So second step is the invasion. So due to here the that is the successful establishment of the species in this bare area, it is called as a invasion. So it may take place through 3 steps. So first one is the migration of this. So this bare area, which is the spores and other seeds will reach this bare area and they start germination. It is called as a ecosis, and aggregation means they increase their number. It is called as aggregation. So it completes in 3 steps: migration of the spores, seeds or propagules to this bare area. Second step is the ecosis, that is the process of that is after migration of these spores. So some will germinate and grow and reproduce. So due to reproduction, so they increase in their number. So aggregation, so increase their number and they stay close to each other. So it is called as aggregation. So this is the second step. So third one is here. So for example, so generally the organisms which start on this bare area and start and growing, so they are called as a pioneer community. So generally in dry habitats, so lichens are the pioneers. So they start this ecological succession. So the process which starts with these lichens, so these are called as a pioneer community. So third step is the competition and coaction. So that is aggregation result in the increase in the number of species within a limited space. So here due to aggregation, that is the number will increase and the number of plant species are increasing. So due to which, so here the competition between these organisms will take place for the food and also for that is nutrients and also for the space. So aggregation result in increase in the number of species within a limited space. So this result in the competition between the individuals for food and space, and this competition may be intraspecific. So here the competition is between the within the species or in between the different species and the individuals of species, which affect each other's life in various ways, and this is called as a coaction. So the competition in coaction results in the survival of. So due to this competition coaction, so the individuals they have only few species will survive, and they fit to this environment only survive, and others will be eliminated. Unfit individuals will be eliminated from this area. So the competition and coaction result in the survival of fit individuals and the elimination of the unfit individuals from the ecosystem. So a species with wide reproductive capacity and ecological amplitude only will survive in this area. So here the competition between intraspecific, that is within the species only, here the competition due for the food and space. So interspecific between the different populations for food and space. So next step is, fourth one is the reaction. So reaction is the most important stage in the ecological succession. So it is the modification of the environment through the influence of living organisms present on it. So due to, as the organisms are living in that area, so due to which the change in this environment will takes place. So reaction causes change in the soil and water, light, and also the temperature of that area. So due to this increase in number, so here the area, the change in the soil, composition of the soil will change, water availability, light, and temperature of the area will change. So due to these modification, the present community becomes unsuitable for the existing environmental conditions. So here due to, so well, the first the organisms which come and established, so these species, they will not survive in due to changes in this soil conditions are due to change in the temperature and also due to water availability. So the first plants which occupy this area, they cannot survive in this area due to changes in this soil, water, light, and temperature. So due to which, so it is unsuitable for the existing in first occupied organism. So such communities will be quickly replaced by another community. So the whole sequence of communities that replaces one another in the given area, it is called as a zero or zera. So the various communities contributing the zero are called as the zeral communities or zeral stage, zeral stages. So due to here the reaction, so due to here changes in the after sometimes, so these the organisms, first the organisms which come and establish this area, they will not survive in this area due to changes in the soil and also due to water or light changes. So they cannot survive in that area. So this space is again occupied by the another community. So here the sequential of communities that replaces one another in the given area, it is called as the zeral stages. So next one is the stabilization. So the last one is last step in ecological succession is the stabilization, that is the formation of climax community. So it is the last stage in the ecological succession, and the final or terminal community becomes more or less stabilized for the longer period of time, and this community can maintain its equilibrium with the climate of the area. And this final community, it is called as a climax community, and the climax community is not immediately replaced by other communities. So climax community is determined by the climate of the region. So example, the climax community, that is the forest. So it is a final climax community. So it will not replace it by other communities. It will be stabilized community. For example, grassland ecosystem. So it is also a stabilized community. So they will not be replaced by other communities or coral reefs. So these are the process of ecological succession. So first one is in ecological succession, the first step is the nudation, that is the formation of bare area. So here the formation of bare area is due to biotic factors or due to that is soil factors, and also due to climatic factors or soil. So due to changes in the composition of the soil, change in the soil, such as due to soil erosion of sand deposit or landslide or volcanic activity. So here due to which here the formation of the bare area will occur. So this bare area is occupied by the other species. So due to migration. So this bare area due to migration, that is due to through wind or water during the rainy season, the seeds and spores will move and reach this bare area. After reaching this, so here this bare area which is reached by these spores and seeds through migration. So here the migration, that is movement of the seeds or spores through this bare area through wind or water or due to insects or birds also, they due to which the spores or seeds will fall on this bare area, and after which so the seeds will germinate. It is called as the ecosis, and so here the germination of the seeds will take place in this ecosis, and the due to increase in their number, it is called as the aggregation. So ecosis, the seeds and spores or propagules of the species reach the bare area due to migration, and this migration can be achieved through air or water or other factors. So after reaching this area, the process of successful establishment of these species in the bare area, that is through germination, they germinate, the seeds or spores will germinate and grow and reproduce. So due to which they increase in their number, it is called as the aggregation. That is after ecosis, the individuals of the species increase in their number and they stay close to each other. So due to aggregation, due to increase in number, so here the competition and coaction will take place in these organisms. So the competition, it may be between the interspecific, the intraspecific, that is within the species or in between the different species. Here the competition will take place for the nutrition and space or other factors like light, and only the species, only some the species which can fit for the survival of fit individuals can survive, and the remaining will be removed from this area. So the species with wide reproductive capacity and ecological amplitude only can survive in this area. So after which, so here due to increase in their number, so here the eliminated species. So due to which these death and decay of these organisms will occur. So due to which here the changes in the soil, temperature, light, etc. will take place. So due to reaction which takes place in this area, so it is unsuitable for the existing species. So here this existing species which is replaced by the other communities. So which they can suitable for the organisms which can grow in this area will occupy this area. So after which again, so here during this process, so one community is replaced by other. So it is called as the zero stages. So at final, that is the stabilization. It is the last stage in ecological succession, and the final or terminal community becomes more or less stabilized for. So it will remain for a longer period of time, and it can maintain its equilibrium with the climate of this area. So they can survive in this area, and they cannot be replaced by other communities. So the climax community is determined by the climate of the region. So examples of climax community are forest, grassland, and coral reef. So they will stand for more years. So this is about the ecological process of ecological succession. So next one is so different types of climaxes in the ecological succession. So here different types of climaxes. So here the climatic climax, that is in this climax, the climax community of the succession is determined by the climate of the region. So if the climax community which is determined by the climate of the region, so it is called as the climatic climax. So that is the climatic climax will have the only one climax community. Second one is the edaphic climax. So here the climax community in the succession, it is determined by the soil. So here based on the soil only, here the final climax community will be determined. So it is called as the edaphic climax. So here the climax community in the succession is determined by the soil. It is called as that is due to edaphic factors. So soil factor, it is called as the edaphic factors of this region. So it is called as the edaphic climax. So the edaphic factors may include the soil moisture, topography, soil texture, and soil nutrients. So they only determine the climax of this community. So next one is the catastrophic climax. So here the climax community is vulnerable to many catastrophic events such as the wildfires or snowfall or floods. So the catastrophic factors replace the climax community completely, and this area will be immediately invaded by new species. So it is called as a catastrophic climax. So here the three types of climax, that is climatic climax means, so if the climatic community, that is final climax which is determined by the climate of the area, so it is called as a climatic climax. So if it is determined by the soil factors like soil texture, soil moisture, and nutrients, so it is called as the edaphic climax. And catastrophic activities due to wildfires or snowfalls or due to floods, so the area becomes bare, but due to immediately this area again invaded by the, that is germination of the new species, will the seeds which are present in the soil, they will start growing. So it is called as a catastrophic climax. So characteristics of the climax community are: the vegetation of the climax community will have high ecological amplitude and possess high tolerance towards the environmental conditions, and they show rich diversity in the species composition, and species composition remains constant for many years. The composition will not change. So the community possesses a complex food chain systems, and ecosystem will be balanced and self-sustainable. And there will be equilibrium between the grass primary productivity and respiration. So energy used for the sunlight and energy released after decomposition will be balanced. And uptake of nutrients from the soil and the release of nutrients back to the soil by decomposition will be equilibrium, and individuals of the community lost by its death are replaced by the individuals of the same species. So the climax community is considered as a manifestation of the climate prevailed in the area. So these are the characteristics of the climax community. So it will be stable and here it follows the equilibrium. So here these are the different climax communities. So here in different based on that. So here these so if the ecological succession which starts with the within the water body, so it is called as the hydrozone. So if the ecological succession which starts on the dry areas or rocks, so it is called as the xerozone. So hydrozone. So here these are the steps which are involved in hydrozone succession. So here hydrozone succession, first it starts with the pioneer stage. Next it is followed by the submerged stage. Next it is followed by the floating stage. Next step is the reed swamp stage, and next one is the marsh meadow stage, and final that is the before final, that is the woodland stage, and final climax community is formed. So these are the stages in hydrozone: pioneer stage, submerged stage. So here the pioneer stage, pioneer, that is phytoplankton stage. It is also known as the phytoplanktons are the pioneer species in the water bodies. So here in the xerozone, so it starts with the crustoge lichens stage. So here the pioneer stage is the crustoge lichens. So generally crustoge lichens, they grow on rocks. So it is followed by the foliose lichens. Next it is followed by the moss stage and herbaceous stage. It is followed by the shrub stage, and final climax community is formed. So these are the different stages, xeral stages in ecological community of different. So if the ecological section which starts on the water bodies, so it is called as a hydrozone. So if it starts on the dry areas like rocks, so it is called as a xerozone. So these are the stages are present in the hydrozone, that is phytoplankton. Pioneer stage is the phytoplankton stage. It is followed by the submerged stage, floating stage, reed swamp, and marsh meadow stage, and woodland, and final climax community is formed. Whereas in xerozone, so it starts with the crustoge lichen stage. It is followed by the folio. So the same area which is first, which is occupied by the crustoge lichen. So it is replaced by foliose lichens here. Next one is the moss stage, and next one is the herbaceous stage, and next shrub stage, and final climax community. So here the order may ask in exam, that is the stages involved in hydrozone or xerozone are from the pioneer to right order. So starting with, so hydrozone starts with and ends with orders involved in hydrozone and xerozone. So it may come in competitive exams. So next one is, so again we will discuss this ecological succession in hydrozone, process of ecological succession in hydrozone and xerozone in next class. So here again, so this is also important. So different types of ecological succession too. So here two types of ecological succession are there. So here the ecological succession which happens for a few different reasons. So here two, that is primary succession and secondary succession. So primary succession means, so it is initiated when a new area that has never previously supported an ecological community is colonized by plants and animals. So this could be a, so here if the ecological succession which starts on the bare area, so which is not supported by the living organisms previously, so it is called as a primary succession. So now only here newly exposed rock surfaces from this landslides or lava flows. So here the area which is occupied now only, here it is occupied. So it is a new so here in previously there is no living organisms exist here. So it is initiated when the new area that has never previously supported by the ecological community. So it is called as the primary succession. Whereas the secondary succession means, so here the secondary succession which occurs on an area that previously had ecological community. but due to disturbances or changes in the community due to environmental factors or other catastrophic factors, so due to fires or floods and winds or other human activities, so that area becomes bare. So now again here the succession will start. So it is called as the secondary succession. So here the primary succession. So here there is no living organisms established before, but now only here the formation of ecological succession will occur. So it is called as a primary. Whereas secondary succession, already previously established organisms are there, but due to some ecological disturbances or due to other factors, so the area becomes bare. And again here the process of ecological succession takes place. So it is called as a secondary succession. So seasonal succession, it is another type of succession, but instead of being the result of disastrous events, so it is due to cyclical changes in the environment or interactions between the species in the community. So due to seasonal changes, so activities, so here the succession will start. So it is called as a seasonal, but here these two are important: primary succession and secondary succession. So primary succession begins with no life on that area and no soil present and new area, and lichens and moss come first and biomass is low in primary succession. Whereas in the secondary succession, it follows removal of existing biota and soil already present here and old area, that is following a bush fire, and seeds and roots already present in the soil, and biomass is higher. So these are the differences between primary succession and secondary succession. In primary succession, it begins with no life, but here the secondary succession, it starts with here it is followed by the removal of the existing biota, that is living organisms. So here the no soil is present in primary succession, but here the soil is already present, and here this is a new area. In primary succession, it is a new area, whereas the secondary succession, it is the old area, that is here already this is established by organisms, but due to some disturbances, so the area becomes bare. So here the lichens and moss come first. So they start and grow here. Whereas here the seeds and roots are already present here, and biomass is low in primary succession, whereas in secondary succession, biomass is higher. So example, so another simple ecological succession would be formation of island from the activity from the volcano in the ocean, and the first organisms to appear in the island would be pioneer species like the bacteria, fungi, and mosses. So it is followed by the grasses, shrubs, and trees. So these are also, this is about the primary succession and secondary succession and process of ecological succession. So this is also important for your competitive exam. So in next class, we will discuss about the process of ecological succession in hydrocarbon, hydrozero, and xerozero. Okay, I will stop here. Sir.
Okay, Madam Ji. Really, it is
okay,
a very interesting topic and a very important topic for all competitive exams, especially in ecological aspects. The succession is one of the most important area from the stages, from pioneer stages to climax stage. From primary stage, that is the initial stage, we can call it as pioneer stage. So from pioneer stage to the final stage, climax stage, every stage is more important, most important regarding of all competitive exams. My dear friends, during these class hours, if you have any doubt, please ask our respected Manjula Madam Garu. Madam is going to clarify your doubts. Any doubt, my dear friends? Okay. So this each stage we can call as seer. So in this seral stages, so what are the changes in the evolutionary process from pioneer stage to climax stage? I hope you clearly understood about the entire stages of this succession
and also the difference between primary and secondary succession. So this is most important. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you enjoy today's class. Madam is clearly explained about the succession, stages of the succession, and also difference between primary and secondary succession. Okay, my dear friends, and Madam is also explained tomorrow class, that is hydrosphere and xerosphere. Okay, so that is also most important. That is also the continuation class of this succession. Okay, Madam, thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay, and same time.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right, Madam, right.